I kept the best for last, the reading section of the TOEFL exam. I personally believe that reading is probably the most challenging part of the test, and I will tell you why. A lot of people may think that writing will be, but based on the new changes, I believe writing would be very easy. One of the biggest changes that has taken place in reading is that you will deal with smaller pieces of passage. So that's a huge step for TOEFL, and that's something that is really threatening other exams because, for example, IELTS and Cambridge exams, they still have those big passages, but none of that in TOEFL 2026. So that's a big change. I think one of the advantages is that you will not get really stressed about the exam, and the whole exam experience will be much more smooth. As you see on a screen, your exam, the reading part of the exam will take about 35 to 48 minutes. Again, this depends on the number of pre-test questions. I talked to you about them in the lesson on listening. It's gonna be 27 minutes, this is probably the shortest reading test in the world. I'm really excited to see how students perform at different levels to this kind of situation. There's gonna be a lot of items. Let's not call them questions, let's call them items, as they do in TOEFL. So there's going to be a lot of items, but all of this is going to happen in only 27 minutes. So you will have a very short time for each question. That's something to consider. But generally, we have three types of reading questions. We have complete the words, which is really interesting. It looks like a sort of a reading and use of English mixed with each other. Then you have read in daily life. Another interesting updates about TOEFL. They're going to make TOEFL an everyday test, not a super focused academic test. And eventually you have an academic passage, which is similar to what we used to have, with the exception that TOEFL is claiming that they will no longer have those too complicated, too fancy passages about paleontology or, I don't know, weird stuff. So those days are gone, and much more familiar, much more interesting and exciting passages. Okay, let's see how that complete the words look like. This is an example of a question with answers, as you see here. So what's going to happen is very interesting. They will provide you with a paragraph about a subject, and then the first sentence is usually untouched. It is complete to give you the gist of what the paragraph is about as a topic sentence. But in later sentences, you see that there are a lot of gaps. And as you see, most of them are kind of verbs, common adjectives, missing part of the verbs, prepositions, adjectives, and some common verbs, some of which you can guess very fast, some of them you need to read more. So just like any other open-close test, technically not a closed test because we have parts of the words and you have to guess the other part of the word. You have to guess the other parts of the word, but I think the goal is here to assess how well you can predict information inside a text without actually knowing the whole word. So that's very interesting and exciting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this pans out in the real test. The best way to deal with is, of course, as always, we need to go through the text once, ignoring the gaps, and then come back, feel as many as possible, and then move on. And then guess those that we couldn't, and then move on. Again, time is very important here, so we need to pay close attention to it and make sure we have enough time for the rest of the questions. The next section would be a kind of a daily life scenario where you see part of a magazine, a catalog, a brochure, an online website. There's a notice, there's an announcement, there's some information or an infomercial probably. And then you have to read it and answer a question. And the questions, again, are kind of checking how well you can get the purpose and then the gist of that piece of text. So in this case, for example, there is an announcement for signing up for paperless billing statements today. Looks like a notification. And then the question is, what type of business issued the notice? So like, who is behind this? Who's doing this? And then you have to read it and you can guess that, oh, is it a computer company or is it a bank or a paper company? And all of these are scenarios that a student or somebody who travels to another country, to an English-speaking country, will deal with on a daily basis. So very exciting, very personal and familiar and quaint, which is amazing. And then we have the all usual academic passage where you read part of a passage from an academic source, not a technical or full of jargon source, but something that let's say a freshman has to go through, and something that a high school student, a high school graduate should be able to deal with comfortably. And as you see, again, the texts are shorter. There's no more those long passages, and it follows up with a question or with an item, and then you have to take care of that. Again, we did have similar questions to this in previous versions of TOEFL, and the same skills of reading the questions, understanding the focus of the question, and then looking at the options and trying to find information within the text will be the best approach, while considering that time is very important here. Remember, I'm just walking you through these parts. We will discuss these in detail later in our future lessons where we talk about reading. For now, just make sure that you are quite familiar with this kind of questions. So, 3 question types that you will have many items related to them. One would be the completing the words. There will be some words with part of them missing, and then the read in a daily life, so daily life scenarios and situations, and finally the academic excerpts where you have to answer a follow-up question. Remember, these changes mean that the reading section of TOEFL has become much easier, so it's not going to be too long, too stressful, and exhausting anymore, which is great. This is why I recommend TOEFL to a lot of people in 2026 as opposed to other tests. But hopefully that doesn't mean everybody can do it, so you need to have the right vocabulary, right set of skills to deal with each questions, all of which we're going to focus on in this course. So thank you very much for checking this video out. We talked about reading today. For next week, we're going to focus on a few skills that we need for TOEFL, and then we will deal with each question type in more depth, and I'll teach you a few ways you can practice and prepare for different sections of the TOEFL exam. Don't forget to subscribe, please, so that you get the latest videos, and share this with any of your friends who is preparing for TOEFL, and I'll see you in the next video.